Okie dokie. Well, this is a bit of a microphone test really, to make sure that the magnets that I've got in the front of this chin guard are strong enough to hold the little mic 2 in there without it falling out. I've got a chin skirt on this helmet, and I normally use the Django chin mount to mount the front facing camera, but because I have to remove the chin skirt for that, I think I get a lot of wind noise coming up and into the helmet, so the sound of the actual audio from my voice is pretty rubbish. So for today I just thought I'd bring the bike out quickly, have a little check of the microphone with the chin skirt on, obviously attach it to a camera. Sorry you're all looking at me, but I don't intend on doing a very exciting ride really to show you where I'm going. It's just purely to see if when I get home the audio on this you know, is of good quality, because if that is the case, then I know exactly where to mount the microphone in the future. And I've also ordered a Motorrad's helmet camera mount. A bit reluctant to stick something on the helmet, but at the end of the day my intercom's stuck on the helmet as well, so but if it helps, then just, you know, keep the helmet inside kind of quiet and allows the audio to be better, then you know, we'll give it a go at the end of the day. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I hope everybody can hear me okay. What's the temperature today? 13 degrees. We had a lovely weekend, and today down here where I live, it's the sun wants to come through. It's a little bit cloudy, a little bit misty, but the sun is definitely trying to break through. But I go back to work tomorrow after having 7 weeks off following my knee surgery. So back to light duties, bit of working from home, which is pretty good really. I guess that I can do that kind of thing, but also, you know, just coming out now, but no, I said also, coming out now just gives me another chance to jump on this this BMW GSA and get a bit more of a feel for it. I went out over the weekend, as you can imagine, because the weather was really good, so I didn't film anything. I just wanted to ride the bike and not have to worry about anything else. And I really like it, really like it. It's you know, it's a GSA at the end of the day, so it's not going to be a bad bike, is it, in any way, shape or form. And like I said previously on another video, which I'm yet to post, I was so reluctant to get a BMW GSA, I really was. You know, when everybody thinks about an adventure bike, of course, it's one of the first bikes that people go to, or they think of, or they talk about, and they're popular. You see a lot of them on the road. And I was just always kind of like, no, I'm not going to have one. I mean, I'm going to be different to everybody else. My dad had Triumphs growing up, and so the Triumph Tiger 1200 was like an obvious choice, if you like, to kind of rebel against the BMW. And I'd heard so much about it, how it was a real BMW GS killer. And I have to say, honestly, there is not a lot of difference. I mean, I had the Rally Pro, not the Explorer. Oh, road closed. So that had the 20-litre tank, and not the big one like this has got. Let's go around this roundabout. The road's closed. And I loved that Triumph, I really did. And I don't know whether or not there's a part of me that is kind of sentimental about Triumphs, because it's what my dad always had. In fact, his last bike was a Triumph Trophy 1200, and he had that from brand new. Bought it in 1999, and he had it up to 2 years or so before he passed away He absolutely loved that bike, and he said to me, you know, why would I want to change it when this bike does everything that I need it to do? And it didn't have all the bells and the whistles and the gadgetry that the bikes do these days. You know, it was a nice 1200 comfortable touring bike for him, and he used it for touring as well. He went all around Europe on it. He went to France and Spain with his motorbike club that he belonged to. He took my mum as well with him at once upon a time. He absolutely loved it. So I think I've got a love for Triumphs anyway, because just of that kind of history. And really, I didn't have to get rid of it. I don't know, I just kind of was a little bit, not annoyed, I don't know what the word is really, but trying to keep up with people, not keep up with people, trying to ride to Switzerland last year was a real bit of a pain in the bum. You know, my bike was so comfortable, it did everything so well. There was nothing else that I needed from it other than a slightly larger fuel tank, and I thought I could get that with the Triumph Explorer, the Tiger Explorer, but my god, that bike is so big. It doesn't cater for the smaller rider. I mean, I'm 5'9", 5'10". I'm not really sure. I guess I'm probably an average kind of height, but my inside leg isn't particularly long. I've got about a 29-30 inside leg, so even on this GS now, it's standard height. It's not, you know, I've had the seat lowered to its lower setting. It's not the lower ride GSA, and I'm on tiptoes pretty much. Although I'm probably a little bit better off on this bike than I was on the Tiger. Tiger was a very tall bike because of its off-road kind of stature, but I like that, you know. And I'm looking at an adventure bike. I love the spoke wheels, and I love the kind of real off-road type styling of it. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the GT versions, but they are obviously more road going, and I don't know, I just didn't like it as much as I like the Rally Pro. So anyway, but no, jumping on this, I mean, this bike is so comfortable. The heated handlebars and the heated seats are phenomenal. I mean, to the point where you do have to turn them down because they can get too hot. And I'm not going to ride a load in the winter, but on days like today when there's still a bit of a nip in the air, it's kind of nice just to have those handlebars on and that seat on low, just to give you a bit of extra comfort. But this bike, just the grunt, the torque, the low end power, even the spreader power. I've heard loads of people talking about it on YouTube and just over the years, but I think, you know, they're all right at the end of the day. This is such a solid engine. Sounds good. Power's fantastic. Low end. I mean, I ride it in dynamic because I like a slightly harder suspension setup. I find the road mode in this is a little bit soft. I think if I was tipping it into a bend and it was a particularly bumpy road, I'd probably end up running wide because of just the amount of spring, if you like, in that rear shock. Whereas I like things a little bit firmer. Oh, I tell you what, that was a bit tight, that road. And a little bit of counter steer on those bars to try and push the old girl around, but just lovely handling bike, nice wide bars. It feels so protected because of the size of the tank, and also you've got those cylinder heads that stick out as well that give you a bit of protection. I mean, I've just gone around that bend there in 5th gear, and you probably can't see it because obviously you're looking at me, but I didn't have to change gear. I'm sat like 2,500 revs in 5th gear, and it's telling me to actually kick up to 6th. You know, it's just so usable. and it's so smooth as well. The throttle response, the way in which you know, it's not jerky in any way, shape or form. The fueling, I guess, is obviously perfect on it, but as you'd expect. But no, I mean, it's a lovely, lovely bike, I have to say. Lovely bike. To be honest, I think I'm lost. Don't normally come out this way, but it's a lovely little country village called Staple. So my plan will be, I mean, obviously I'm not going to be able to do long trips to Switzerland and wherever else on a regular basis, you know. That's not my main job. I'm not a motorcycle reviewer or an influencer in any way, shape or form. But I think I do live in a really nice part of the country down in the southeast. I'm not a million miles away from Dover or Folkestone for the ferry or for the tunnel, so if I do ever do a day trip to France, maybe to Boulogne and stuff, you know, I'll take the cameras and I'll film the trip, stick it on my YouTube channel for people to see, give them an idea of what there is around here. But I think what I'll do in the future is whenever I head out for ride outs, I'll hook the cameras up. If I can get this audio stuff dialed in and figure out how to press play and stop on both cameras at the same time and all that malarkey, then I'll film some of my ride outs, I guess, just for me to look back on as well, really. There's a lovely old church there, and again, you're probably not going to see it. You might see it as I ride past it because you're looking at me, like I said, but you know, it is a very nice place that I live, that's for sure. You just got to be careful on these country windy roads that you don't run into a tractor coming the other way or a load of cow crap on the road that you're going to slip on. Oh, bloke on the trike. So yeah, anyway, I'll have a chat to you all soon, I guess, when I'm a bit more comfortable with this video camera malarkey, about my history in bikes, how long I've been riding, what bikes I've had, blah 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 blah, where it all began, if anybody's interested. But I do find, and I think all bikers probably do find it anyway, even when they haven't got a camera or microphone in their helmet, that riding a bike, especially riding it out somewhere like this in the sticks in the country, you end up talking to yourself anyway in your lid. You start putting the wheels to rights and reminiscing about certain bits and pieces. So sorry if I bore people rambling on about my love of bikes and everything else in between, but yeah, we will see how it all goes, and I'll post bits and pieces to the YouTube channel. Like I say, I'm not in this to make a living, I'm in this just to record my rides, and if I go on an epic one, which to be fair, Switzerland last year was a bit of an epic one, which started all this kind of moto vlogging stuff off really, then yeah, I'll stick that on as well. Obviously I've got to get used to editing videos as well, using whatever software's out there to use, so lots to learn, lots to do. I'm kind of enjoying it though. It's a bit like a new hobby. Wife says I've turned into a bit of a geek, which is probably not wrong. Got myself a drone as well, so I've got some footage that I can take from the sky. It'd be great if I could figure out how to get the drone to follow me, or you know, like Adam Ryman does on his YouTube videos. They're pretty cool. Not that my rides are going to be anywhere near as epic as his, and the scenery won't be as fantastic either, but yeah, we'll just see what's what. And if anybody likes these videos, then that'd be great. If you like, subscribe, brilliant. If you don't, fine. This is a nice road to go on. Quite arc at that exhaust note. Lovely roads. Should have turned the camera around. You can't see. It's pretty boring looking at me, isn't it? What's the time? 10 to 12. Got to get back to pick up Little from school at 3. I'm sure I'll be back with well enough time to do that. I'll tell you what else. So again, I mean, I'm nowhere near a motorcycle reviewer or you know, anything like that really. I'm not, I've never really spoke to camera or over a microphone and said, oh, you know, this and that, blah blah blah, blah and what I find, yada yada yada. But this bike came with the Bridgestone Battle Axe A41 tyres. I think they're the A41s, they're the Adventure A41s, I believe. So they're kind of they look good on the bike, you know. They're that kind of cross, I guess, between adventure bike and road. And I've just tipped the bike into a couple of little corners there, and they feel nice. Give you a little bit of confidence. Stuck behind 2 highway maintenance vehicles now. They are travelling very slowly on what is a lovely road to enjoy, which is a real shame. This bike just kind of glides around corners. It doesn't tip in as fast as the Triumph, but then I don't know if that's because of the way the front end's set up on this. Again, never ridden a BMW GSA, not used to the telelever front shock. Is a bit odd that the bike doesn't dive when you apply the brakes. That's a bit getting used to. But yeah, the mirrors on this are a little bit smaller in size. See, now I find myself comparing the bike, don't I? Look, I'm doing a review. But they don't move, there's no shaker, there's no rattle and roll. You know, you can see what's behind you really clearly. I mean, I'm only doing 40 miles an hour, so it's not like I'm doing motorway speeds, but even at this kind of speed on the Triumph, you kind of got an idea that there was some vibe coming through the bars just purely because of the way in which the mirrors would shake. I didn't really ever feel it through the bars in my hands, if I'm honest. It wasn't like I ended up with numb fingers or pins and needles in my hands. You know, you read some or you hear some reviews on YouTube and stuff, and people go on about, you know, the vibrations through the bars and blah 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 blah, and how, you know, the new engine is sorted it all out and this, that and whatever. Well, I mean, my bike was a 21 plate, so it was before the new engine came out, and I never felt like there was any issues, and I rode all the way to Switzerland in one day at motorway speeds, as comfortable as you like, and I didn't get off going, oh, my hands are numb or anything like that. I found the bike really, really good. But just as a note, these mirrors do not wobble, shake, vibrate in any way, shape or form. These trucks are turning off now, which is good. That means I might be able to enjoy this ride a bit more. I said as well in a previous video, I think it's probably only the second ride that I've done on this bike, that the quick shifter was nowhere near as good as the Triumph's, and it isn't. But I have found that if you wind this bike up a bit and then use the gears, the quick shifter, I guess, as it's supposed to be used, it is a hell of a lot smoother up and down. I still don't use it going from sort of first, second, third, but from third up, when you've got, you know, when you're starting to motor. Hello, Mr. Car, stay there. No, you're not going to stay there. It really is quite smooth, actually, to be fair. Better than what I've heard anyway, again online and through videos that I've seen. It's not the smoothest, it's just not. But again, it's not as bad as some people, I think, make out. Again, this is subjective, isn't it? It's my views and my opinion, but I don't think the camera moved. That's something I'm going to have to sort out as well, apart from all this microphone stuff, is getting myself some decent mounts for the bike. Like I say, it's all new learning curve for me. We'll get there. I did buy a DJI GPS Osmo remote. It's kind of watch size. You can have it on your wrist, or you can take the straps off. And I've attached it to my Velcro part of my Moscow Moto Nat handlebar bag. And it works fine to control both cameras, start, stop, so there's no delay in the recordings. You know, if you're looking at me and I'm looking at the scenery, it all kind of ties in quite nicely, which is a right bonus, instead of having to clap or whatever it might be that I've heard some people do, which is something I might have to do, who knows. But what the remote doesn't do for both cameras, but it does for one camera, I was hoping that it could put both cameras to sleep and then wake them back up again at the push of a button. So in between filming, I can save the batteries on the camera. But it doesn't do it for both cameras. It does it for one camera, which is fine if I've got it gym mounted and I'm looking out ahead and blah blah blah, and it's on a long journey. I think, well, I better save the battery. But it doesn't do it for both cameras. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I hope you can hear me alright, because it's quite windy. Quite a lot of wind noise in my lid. And again, that's something else I need to get, because I've started all these things off, all these gadgets and gizmos that I've attached to my helmet. I've got an intercom now because I've got an adventure bike. Never had an intercom before when I had my sports bikes, but now I've got an adventure bike. It's like, oh yeah, you've got to have an intercom. So I've got that, which is great because I can listen to my music on the fly, and I can make phone calls, which is good. The wife can tell me or phone me every now and again and say, are you okay? What are you up to? What time are you going to be home for tea? That kind of thing. But at the moment, I'm riding without any earplugs in. So I need a decent set of earplugs that I can use to listen to my music, make a phone call, and all of that kind of stuff, as well as protect my ears. Right, that's moved again. I think that's loosening up. If it doesn't fall off. Anyway, I think you probably had enough of me rambling on. Excuse me, I'm talking rubbish now anyway. So I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm assuming that after a while that turns the mic off in my helmet, and I'm just going to enjoy this last half an hour's ride, concentrating on the roads, enjoying this for what it is, and thanks for listening to me go on. Hope to see you all again soon in the future. If you like the videos, like I said, it'd be great if you like them, share them, subscribe, that'd be cool. If not, no worries. But I'll see you all again soon. Take care.